Let's return to the flood situation. Nate Byrne joins me. Nate, take us through what's happening in Far North Queensland right now.
Got some updates for you, Karina. The gauges just tipped over 9 o'clock. So we have now got a really good idea about how much rainfall we've seen in the last 24 hours. Up in the Daintree, really the focus. Essentially every gauge you look at is 600 millimetres plus. But there's one at Byrne, more than 800 millimetres of rain recorded there. Now we'll likely have to check to make sure that it's right in days ahead. But either way you cut it, there has been an absolute soaking. You can see the cloud associated with the rain that we've been seeing through the region, heavy to intense falls. Now, the other thing that's updated is the warnings. Earlier thunderstorm warnings have been cancelled now, but we've still got an area along the northeast tropical coast. Now Cairns is out of this warning area, but heavy to intense falls continue. So that includes for the Daintree, communities like Wudjil. We're going to see more big falls today. Now, the Bureau, with the latest updates to the warnings, has backed things off just slightly, but still we're looking at the potential for 200, perhaps 300 millimetres for some through the day today. But in good news, this should be the last of the days of heavy falls. Oh, by the way, we're also keeping an eye, if you're in the southeast of Queensland, watch for severe thunderstorm warnings later on today, and a bit of wet and stormy weather with a change coming through the south. That's actually going to be a focus for the rest of the east coast in the week ahead. We've got some decent totals on the way, but I'm going to focus on the north of Queensland because even once that heaviest rain dies down, we've still got showers behind it. And so we're going to see, if not enough water falling to add to the flooding, any extra falls up that way are just going to slow the recession of the floodwaters. And there's also a concern later on this afternoon, high tide, early this afternoon, could exacerbate some of that major flooding we're seeing. You can see still a really big signal up for the northeast of Queensland, Karina. It is a dangerous situation. We are very much not out of it yet.
Yeah, I think there is actually a place called Karina in Queensland, so you're not far off.
I'm covered. Good.
Did you say more than 800 millimetres in one gauge in the last 24 hours?
Yeah,
that's just a huge amount of rain.
It's incredible. And to put it in perspective, like some places, and not just 1 or 2, but we've seen more than 2 metres, right? 2 metres of rain. For many up that way, even though it's the tropics, that's the average rainfall. You know, obviously.
For the whole year.
Yeah, like year to year that can change depending on if they cop a cyclone or not. But Cairns, their average rainfall is, I think it's 1,999 millimetres, right? So some locations have seen a year's worth of rain in just a handful of days.
Oh, it's extraordinary. Is there anything else that you're monitoring, Nate?
There is, because of course it's summer and severe weather time. Heat is also a real problem on the other side of the country. Northern WA, absolutely baking. And you can see the heat's being pulled down into the southeast along a trough, but then also down into the southwest corner at the moment. And we've got some fire danger to talk about today, and in fact, right through the outlook, but extreme conditions on in parts of southwestern WA. This broad area of high fire danger, something to watch very closely. But the north of the state, it's the heat wave, the severe to extreme heat wave conditions, because there's no relief at night. We're going to see temperatures well into the 40s. In fact, up into the high 40s for many in the days ahead. There's a bit of movement here and there. You can see some cool air flashing through the east as well later on. That's what's coming with that rain that we're expecting in the next few days. But WA remains the focus. Now, the north doesn't have to deal too much with fire danger. High fire danger is as bad as it gets, but those extreme conditions in the southwest are going to spread and persist through pretty much the same region, largely thanks to some gusty winds combining with the heat. But it's when it's days and days of extreme weather that we really get concerned, because fires, especially in those more remote areas, can really get going and get a big hold. And so WA is going to become a focus, Karina, but Queensland, we're going to be talking about that, I suspect, for weeks.